Hello, I'm Khary Frazier, founder of Detroit is Different. I'd like to thank you for checking out and tuning in to the 2023 State of Black Detroit. Who's afraid of a Black Detroit? This is an event run through Detroit is Different. Detroit is Different is a community group. It's also a community media hub, welcoming podcasts, video, and so much more. Even our wonderful events throughout the year, the Collard Green Cook-Off, the My Natural Hair Show, and so many other things like this here. This collaboration is a collaboration between Detroit is Different and Mama Akua House, community movement builders, but more so an extension of the friendship, bond, and relationship between myself and Yusef Bunchy Shakur. I should say Dr. Yusef Bunchy Shakur. We were actually the ones in 2009 that did the very last event at the Renaissance Club, atop the Renaissance Center. It was Kwanzaa at the Renaissance. And since then, we've done so many more things, so many other things. So we welcome you to meet so many of the other people that support community and a lot of the works connected to Detroit is Different, but connected to stronger works, not just in Detroit, not just in Michigan, even in the nation and even internationally. This will be a wonderful event to set the tone for you all to get practical solutions in ways that we're already engaging. Things that we've witnessed. And when we say who's afraid of a Black Detroit, it's more so dealing with everything we've dealt with, but ways we've overcome it. You're gonna get some different perspectives, but more so, you're gonna get what I call knowledge, AKA in the streets, the game on what you need to do. So with this, I want you to sit back and know it'll be powerful. If you like to give and get in a last minute donation for 2023 so you can get back some more money and support what we're doing, please make that donation to Detroit is Different Community Group, 501c3. This is going to be fun, and it's going to already start off with somebody that's so connected to community that you may not know, but I definitely know he's an entertainer.
Hey, this your boy Foolish, and it's the State of Black Detroit. Y'all better listen up.
This person, a lineage when it comes to Black empowerment. And then also, the sister is just amazing. And talk about like chilling with dogs. I think she may have you beat when it comes to the K9 crew. But more than that, just entrenched with the people, always with elders, and in different ways, organizing across the globe. So when it came to asking Black organizing, I couldn't think of anybody better and Carolyn Baker. Carolyn, come on up to the stage. Carolyn, come on up to the stage to speak on this from General Baker Institute. So let's see, as Carolyn makes the way to the stage, if you all don't know, make sure you check out where Baker Institute is. Baker Institute is right there in the heart, what used to be the Mays Printing Building. And it's definitely one of those things where I think they working on chairs and seating. As y'all see, it feels like an old school rally damn near where we organizing right now. And then the wooden panels, the design of Mama Akua House is very aesthetically connected, as you see, So right now, we're going to get Carolyn over to Cam and make sure that everything's in panel. And then we're going to get rocking and rolling as we have the questions for Carolyn too. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you can give to Detroit is Different. Get tax deduction before the end of the year. Support as we put this stuff together and different things and whatnot. So, without any further to do, we about to jump into these questions. Carolyn, how you feeling today?
I'm shocked y'all got me on the mic. I'm usually behind the scenes, but I'm good. I'm glad to be here with all y'all.
All right. So we're going to go to slide 4 for a second. Let's go to the slides for a second just to show people the Black organizing. And then we're going to get to some of your questions right now. So the first question we have is, what strategies have you found most effective for organizing within the Black community?
It's interesting because Yusef said a lot of kind of what we try to do. We try to meet people where they are. We are located in the old Mays Printing Company, if folks don't know. That's on Livernois next to Uptown Barbecue and next to the Black-owned Lawnmower Company. And so, yeah, we're babies when I say to organizing as far as General Baker Institute as a name. But as far as organizing as a whole, we pull on the coattails of my mom with welfare rights organizing, and also her and my dad coming out of with Baba Charles is in here somewhere, with the League of Revolutionary Black Workers and Uhuru, and just a long time organizing. So that's the lineage we come out of, but we're still grounded in trying to meet people where they are. And so what that looks like for us is we can have people walk in who say, I can't stand Black women who have dreads, who wear baseball caps with a D on it. And my job is not to take that personal. My job is to understand that something outside of these walls of the General Baker Institute have those folks thinking that way and feeling that way. And so just not taking things personal. It sounds easy, but it's not. And always remembering, people are dealing with just trying to survive. And just because they haven't read what you read or had the experience you have doesn't mean they're not as smart as you, can't navigate like you, and don't have something to offer. And not try to bog anyone down in ideology. That's another thing. Some of the best organizers are folks who are just out here trying to survive, not the so-called proclaimed organizers. And so just being grounded and remembering that I can see y'all a little bit over there. So if I'm looking this way, it's because there's not so many lights over this way.
Hilarious. All right. So that brings us to the next question. Tell a story of where you witnessed this and where it still impacts. And you talked about an example, but what's a story? As one of the things that was definitely asked for, it's like people always talking about this Black stuff. People always talking about this Black stuff. When do we do the Black stuff? So can you please give a story where that connected?
Well, yeah, so our space is ran by majority Black women and Black femmes. And so a couple of stories and something I learned, there's anti-Blackness out there, we all know of, and there's also anti-Black woman and Black femme. And so I say that to say is we have folks come in the building all the time looking for the owners. We greet them at the door, and they always say to us, well, I think we had a couple inspectors come in too. It's like, well, when the owner comes, let them know that they need to fix this, this, and this. And we just like, okay, sure, we sure will. We've had organizers, who supposedly are supposed to know better, that come in, don't speak. And we've had events where we've done with different organizations, and sometimes they'll have a white person sitting at the door with us to sign people in, and everybody comes to the white person, and they won't come over to us. And I'm just fine. I just be looking. Or they'll have questions about the building, and so they'll go to the person because I'm usually wearing sweats or running around doing 15,000 things. And so it'll be myself, my aunt, my mom, and then my sister, one of my sisters works for a college, and she comes and she's dressed up because she's been dressed for work all day, and they'll come to her and ask her a question because she's dressed a certain way. And so we see this all the time. Like I said, I have to always go back to don't take things personal, even though I be wanting to cuss them out every time. I had a car full of, I'm closing shop. Someone recommended them to come over and check out the space that I know personally. And it was a car full of Black women who pulled up and said, and I'm literally locking the door. They said, is the owner here? And I was just having a day. I was like, no, they are not here. They was like, well, do you have a number for them? I said, you know what? I sure don't. I really don't. And I continued to lock the door. The alarm went off. But, I was done for the day, had one of those days. But that is constant. And with that, not only that, with the anti-Black woman and femme, comes with that, we are expected to fix all the problems within the Black community. There's an issue, we get penalized for it. As a space, and this has happened recently, as a space, we've gotten penalized for things that have happened in the Black community, and we're supposed to come up with the answers and fix it. Like I said, we're young. We started during COVID. and so people get upset with us. I say this all the time, they can date Black brothers, they can have conversations with Black brothers, but they can't even come over and have a conversation with Black women. Just a conversation. I'm not saying come date it. I'm just saying come have a conversation. And if that's a hard conversation, come have that hard conversation with us. We can't even get that respect. And so we're learning that, and the ways that we are trying to deal with that is we more recently just had a meeting trying to pull together Black women and Black films. We had one meeting, and it was with Mama Ra and Mama Neb, and we're going to gather other Miss Valerie, Mama Valerie. And so we have made a commitment that after New Year, we're going to try to do this more often, have a meeting place of Black women and Black femmes, so that it doesn't matter ideology, just how can we come together to have discussions, to deal with things, whether it's just our own healing, whether it's things in our community, how can we be resources to each other? So I know it's a lot of folks in here. Look out, because we're going to be giving you a call to join those meetings, and it doesn't always have to be there. We want to do this all around the city. But that's just coming out of that experience. That's something that we want to continue to do.
Definitely. As we get into, as we say, the fear questions, and it's empowering that we're connecting and building more. As we come back in crossing, as you say, just the work, it's a lot, and you just share so much in what you just shared that I believe echoes with many organizers. So now we get into the fear questions. What are some of the unforeseen challenges you faced as you work collectively to empower the Black community?
Yeah. So I did not know how strong, like this last thing I was talking about, anti-Black women, I didn't know how strong it was until got into this role. So just that, I'm wondering what else I'm going to learn throughout this process, because we're always learning. And as far as fear, it's more so like the people we meet we're in the Pilgrim Village area. The folks we meet over there, we're just losing out. So I know Yusef mentioned it earlier, we're losing out so bad. So the folks I see that are struggling to survive, whether it's addictions and stuff, just the fear. And also I deal a lot with elders. We were just looking yesterday, my aunt and my mom and I, we have a binder of obituaries that we just started collecting since we got the space. And these are mostly folks from the league who have just recently passed within us and so the fear of receiving phone calls from elders who we haven't got a chance to record and to actually work with and get their stories and have more meeting with, just that fear of losing them, that fear of losing the other folks that are in the neighborhood, whether it be from addictions or whether it be from them being forced out. That's the constant fear of we're just losing our people. And I don't feel like we're catching up to that. You know what I'm saying? So we're losing them at great numbers. And we need to try to figure out how we can stop some of that. I know with the elders, it's inevitable, but as they get older, but yeah, just getting their stories. My dad left here before we could do a lot more recordings we wanted to do with him. So Mike Hamlin left here. I was out of town. I told him when I got back, we were gonna get together and record. Got back, he was gone. So that constant losing out on our elders and our history.
All right. And that definitely connects right to how do you deal with these challenges?
Yeah. So I know I met Khary. I've been telling Khary I need him to come over and help me, and Piper with our equipment. That, and we have we want to record people. We are blessed to have folks come over all the time. So we're always trying to record. The elders have come, like Dan, Baba Dan Aldridge has been over there a couple of times, and they'll get to talking, and I'm like, what? I didn't even know that about the city. And so like just constantly keeping a recording going over there is one. Having intergenerational discussions as much as we can is another. And just, yeah, you're always going to be racing time. And so how can you best use your time while you still have it? Is what we're always trying to, the commitment we're always trying to make. What is the best use of time with the little time that we do have? Yeah, that's it.
All right. And last, what have you learned and are learning from these challenges?
From all these challenges, well, what I'm learning from just this work that you're going to take some steps forward, and then there's going to be some things that push you back. And not being afraid of mistakes that you have made, because we have made several mistakes within the work that we have done. We're going to continue to make several more, but not letting those mistakes define us, and not trying, and learn from them, learn from the mistakes as though we learn from history, and try not to repeat those mistakes, and try not to repeat that history is one of the main things that I've learned. We can be very successful one minute and just have an off month the next, but that don't let us quit. Keep pushing forward. And you can't be all places at once. You can't be on every front of struggle. But if you have a collective, and if you are a part of a collective, then that gives you the ability to know what's happening on different fronts of struggle. And so also being grounded in that. Always, we have what Friends of GBI is what we try to call, where we just have meetings where we're just updating folks, because our success is only in everybody else's success. We try to be, we're not an organization membership like that. We try to be a tool for organizations, whether that's event space, whether that's printing, whether that's podcast equipment, if you know how to do it, because I don't know how to do it, whether that's books or education. We try to be a tool for other organizations. And we're not trying to be in any competition. And so that are some of the things that we learned, and also knowing wherever folks are located. We have some of this mapping that we're working on that shows who's in what area, what organizations are where. And we want to share that with other organizations going forward, and contact information for other organizations, so you can know the lay of the land and who do we have in different places. So always trying to be a collective force, and continue to understand that our work is not in competition with anyone else's. It's only a tool to try to help uplift others, individuals and organizations.
Hats cocked right, soldiers got my back. Plan in effect that we fight to the death. Got my black fist stuck, my black fist stuck. Got my black fist stuck, my black fist stuck. We already got them, caught them when they watching. Thinking we ain't real, yo, the whole team shot them. Got my black fist stuck, my black fist stuck. Got my black fist stuck, my black